We're having open layers, and similar to the way, like, you know how we did, like, well, I did. I don't know if all of you guys did, but the layers, you know, when we're doing the architectural stuff, it was an A dash. You did the interior stuff, it was I dash. So typically, you might see something that says like site, and then you could easily use a pipe or a dash. So, because you don't want to use S. S usually will overlap with structural. Usually structural engineers are gonna have an S dash column, S dash beam, S dash, I don't know, shear wall or something like that. So you need to go ahead, create a new layer. And I was gonna say site. I don't even know if it will let you do a pipe, will it? And we'll do property line.
Site property line?
Yep. It won't let me do it. I didn't think so. So you don't have to do it. We're just gonna do a dash. I think it's because it throws the pipe in there when you have an XREF in there. That's why it won't let me do it. So for the line types, we're gonna load a new one. It's called Phantom. So what it is a long dash, too short, and a long dash, too short, long dash, too short. Phantom. Okay, and that's the one we're gonna use for our
Phantom one or just one?
this Phantom, plain old Phantom.
I don't see it.
Yeah, keep going.
Type in PH and it'll throw you all the way down.
Color.
For the line weight, we want it to be a nice big thick line so that you could really see it. The color I'm just gonna leave as blue because again I reference blue as my heavier lines. Okay. Next one, site, and
Which liner, weight did you use?
I use 0.5. Oops. So I did site building, and I'm gonna use a slightly smaller one, and I'll just throw it on the cyan for now. And the line weight would be continuous. Then we could do.
Oh, you went to another one already? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, come on.
Tell you go too fast. Everyone's a good beat.
Huh?
So that's build, site building. Site building, continuous. Site building, it was 0.3, 0.3? Huh?
Relax. I'll let you guys catch up.
What's the line weight on the building?
0.3. We'll do ground. Call it ground.
If you're stressing this one out, oh no, don't do that. You're
So
gonna
we
get
type
involved
it
in
in
this.
0.3 or is it 3.0?
Yeah, 0.30, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
0.30.
Big, that big 30. And that's continuous line. 0.30.
The only one so far is the property line that I changed. Everything else is continuous.
Okay. Phantom of the Opera. Oh, it's 0.50, not 0.05. Yeah.
I can't see the numbers you're putting on there. It's too small.
I'll tell you right now. I wish there was a. I don't know. There's not a way to zoom in, right? So, I don't know. Let's draw a box at 0,0,
A box.
and we'll say it's like 300 feet
Wait, what?
by 125 feet.
Say that again?
It's still up there. 300 by 125.
300.
Oh, shit.
And we're going to call that our property line.
What's up?
LTS 112. 12.
Ortho
More. Damn, 48. Alright. Then set your line type scale to 48 so you can actually see it.
What the fuck?
See the phantom?
Yeah, you see the Phantom at the Opera? Cool.
Says what?
300 by it's 48. 300? Yeah, it works too. It's kind of big. 48's nicer. Yeah?
No, over 300?
300 by 125. Your line tip scale is 48. All right. Then we're going to start a poly line. Well, first, so kind of the first thing you should probably do is look at your setbacks, which you guys don't have any. We're just going to make them up just for the teaching moment. So I'm going to say we're going to call this true north is up on the drawing for now. So the south border property line, we'll say is 10 foot. Okay.
So offset 10 foot.
In the back, we're going to say 10 foot. And both sides, just for change, we're going to say 20 feet. Okay. So a lot of times what you'll see is, yeah, you'll see this actually could be on the property layer, or sometimes people put it on as like a buildable layer or something. For now, we'll just leave it on the property layer. It probably could be like dashed or something. I'm trying to think how we want to do this. Yeah.
10 feet. It's gonna do all the way around.
Yeah, we're gonna make a new layer. I think it'd be better. We're gonna call it site dash setback. And this one we're gonna load and we're gonna make it a hidden line. And I want it to be, no, let's make it a little different. We'll make it yellow. And I want it to read as like a medium-ish.
What's it called?
Setback.
Basically just offset 10 feet.
Well, 20 on the other side. That's why I did it that way. So it's different. Okay, so site, setback, my color's yellow, line type yellow, or line type is hidden, line weight would be 0.15. Yeah?
Yeah, another one.
So I'm gonna do text, and I'm gonna just say building setback. Building setback line. Now it's gonna come in really tiny.
What are we expecting to happen?
That's why. It's probably like 10. Probably be bigger than that, actually. I'm not sure what scale this thing like really is, so let's do 20. Yeah, 20 is better. Put it on my annotation and move it over, and should really be located in like 2 locations. So something like that. So if you double click on it and you highlight the text up here in the top left, it has the text height. If you're in the text editor toolbar, or I put 20 feet. Seems relatively okay for now. Huh? Did you draw your box at
in inches instead of feet?
yes?
Of course not.
Just scale by 12, and you'll be good. Okay.
Pretty small.
Yeah.
But just in case I did.
Standards of the stuff that you would have. So should be in feet though. They won't let you do decimals and do feet. Engineering. There we go. Engineering. Yeah. Woo. Engineering. There we go. And I'm going to go to 0, 0. So under the primary units, go ahead and use engineering and then do precision of 0 feet, 0 inches. And should go and suppress your 0 and then bam. There you go. A lot better.
Precision is
Yeah. Something close to that.
So what's the precision?
0 feet dash 0 inches.
what about the scale factor? It stays right there, 1.
Yes. Cool? Not cool? Why not?
It's not giving me the.
No.
That's 1,200 feet. I was at 300, bro. We would scale up. I'm gonna go whack. We were at the top.
Yeah.
How big do you want the circle?
We're gonna do 5 foot. 5 foot radius. Sorry, should be 5 foot radius.
Down.
5 foot radius. Okay. Next, we're gonna draw like a crosshair through the middle of it. Okay. Then we're gonna simply offset. Well, like a foot. No, a foot's too much. Do 6 inches each direction. So it'll be a total of a foot. Then 6 inches on both sides. So gonna look something like that. So you can trim off. Then hatch this part solid.
How big is the circle again?
6 foot. 6 foot radius. So after you've created the north arrow, you want to go ahead and make it a block. Because why? Because we kind of want to reuse this in other drawings, right? So I'm actually going to make it a W block. So that I can write it out to a new drawing. So I'm just going to simply call it north arrow. Ooh. Save. Bam. So now, if I go and I insert that, oh, because I inserted it on 0, 0. Anyways, there you go. There it is. So if we were to draw a building, I'm gonna draw a polyline real quick, just kind of out in the middle of space, and I'm gonna make it 60 feet. Then I'm gonna head north 30 feet, and I'll go. What's that? East, west, east, 35 feet. And I'll go north 45 feet. And I'll come back 75 feet. And 30 feet. Oops, not 30 inches, 30 feet. There we go. Then 20 more feet. And then 45 feet. Everybody got that, right?
Nope.
Just kidding.
I got it.
So you should have two dimensions. The two kind of most extent of the building. Annotation. So I want this building to be 10 foot back from my property line, or from the setback line. And, oh, didn't even do that. And I'm going to say 40 feet from the west end. So those dimensions you should also have, just because it's helpful for someone who is starting to build a building. So something like that.
How many feet from the?
10 and 40.
This one's 20, this is 30.
So let's say we're gonna call this area here the garage, and I'm just gonna do it really easily for now. But if you had a driveway, jeez, I'm offset 4 feet up and 4 feet down. It's a really big driveway, and I'm gonna trim it off to there, and site ground.
How much did y'all say?
4 feet. Yeah. So let's say off of the property line, we have like a 5-foot curb, and then another 5-foot patchy grass area, and then the street. So I'm just drawing more stuff in right now. Curb cut. It's fine. I'm gonna give you time to catch up. Kind of got some of the basics in here now. Now we want to kind of create some more lines just to represent like an entrance or something like that. So I'm gonna offset again 4 feet, 4 feet down this time, and then offset that one. We'll just do 4 feet for now.
4 and 4 again.
Yeah, and then 4 and 4 again to kind of create your quote unquote like entrance pathway. Something like that, right? Good enough. Not the most exciting driveway and walkway, but good enough. So you may, if you have like a fence around the property, you may draw that in.
Patio.
Yep.
Air conditioner.
I don't think you may show the air conditioner.
Yeah, HVAC.
Um,
Outside, no?
so probably create a new layer for site fence. And I'm gonna use hidden for that.
I got a bean here too. I can throw it in like a pool.
There you go.
Got a bean pool.
There you go.
Cool. Okay, I'm doing it.
Do green default. Let's throw it at like 20. No, not even. We'll throw it at 15. So we want go home, go to fence. Yeah.
I'm still doing the curve bits, man. I'm not even a theater cut. He doesn't know what this guy doing. What's the...
So I offset it 6 inches off of the property line, and it's 4 feet off of the building line.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Um,
An offset
You use the array on the pathway.
Wait, I
Make
was
it
at 6
curvy.
inches?
if you wanted to.
Path array.
Not yeah. It could.
alright.
It don't look curvy. It looks.
Oh, you can throw in some entourage in there using your lovely tool palette, some cars, some trees, etc., etc., etc.
How do you get talking?
There's a little arrow here. Check it out. So this little arrow guy right here will pop down, and you'll see top. Yep. Then throw some trees, and then inside of the trees you have various tree types. You create your little lush garden, your lawn, what have you. Probably not gonna have this many trees here in California, but anyways, whatever. There's some nice trees, right? Maybe one in front. Spread them out randomly, sure. Just want to show some life on the drawing, right? So, oh, that's what we gotta draw some topography in there, right? So, we're basically gonna assume that this whole area is pretty padded and level, but in terms of some topography, you know, for now we're just making it up, but usually the topography lines are going to extend beyond your site, and you want that because you're trying to show that, you know, you're not living on this square plot piece of land that only lives in your border. So have something like that with the topography, just showing that it's sloping up. And then I think they have the little tag, right? Is there a little tag in here somewhere? Surprised there's not. Boo. Boo. So, I'm thinking of like an elevation marker, right? So, we're going to create another block. So, I'm going to make this one 2.5 feet. Okay. I wanted about half the size. Then, I'm going to offset by 0.5 feet out. Extend my lines. So I kind of have like a BMW looking sign, right? Something like that. Good enough?
I'm still doing the trees.
Then you could have you need some text in there. So we want to change the properties to be left middle left. Yeah. So it could be to the same, and then 0 foot 0 inches. Do I want to make that an attribute? Probably wouldn't be bad. So I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna make this an attribute actually. Oops. Nope. Define an attribute. So we're gonna say the tag is elevation. So the height, the default would be 0 foot, 0 inches. Text height. What was it? 20, right? I'll leave it at 20. Middle left. And then we're gonna block it. And I'm gonna say it's the elevation tag.
So now I love that 20.
What?
I love that 20.
Elevate. I don't know. French version, I guess. Pick point. Put the center dot. Hit OK. Height. And so with the elevation marker, you don't necessarily have to do every single one. You may do like every other. So let's just say this is like 2 foot dash 0 inches. And then if I do this one, just say like 4 foot, right? Something like that. So that would basically tell the builder that every line is a foot. So for 0, 0, then this one would be 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot. So that's just showing like the slope kind of going from the street up into the house. Very gradual slope. Obviously, we don't have like a really big, heavy-duty slope. So, if you could visualize this in like 3 dimensions, you know, for every, I don't know, 20 or so feet, it's going down a foot. So it's a real nice, even slope. But something that you need to have on your site plan would be the elevation tags and the topography also. We're going to hatch the building too, just to show a little more, and we use ANSI 31. And for my scale, I'll just scale it like way up to like 120. 120 works. I'm going to make a new layer, site hatch, and again, 252, and home, and site hatch. So depending on kind of the standards that you're using, there's a few different ways to do the site plan. One is like a simple border like this, like we showed. Another one may be the actual roof plan. So, you know, you may come in here and fill in some of the lines. You know, something like that to show the, you know, the pitched roof or whatever, or you want to get real fancy, you know, it show, although kind of doing it the wrong way, I guess. Should go this way, huh? That's better. Um, something like that. The other way is you may want to show like you may show the roof plan and then also show like the foundation underneath, because they are trying to locate your building off of the site, because when they start it's basically all they have. You could show like the drainage lines and stuff like that too, depending on what field you're working for. You may have like the gas lines to route the gas, or the sewer lines to route into the building. You'll use some sort of site plan for that too. See 31 or 21, whatever it is, 31. So the other thing that you want to do is kind of show the area that it's covering. So simple way to do that is type the word area, and since our building's a polyline, you could hit there and you can see right here it actually tells you the dimensions. So it's 5,475 square feet. It's a pretty big house. So something like that. And if we go to edit that text, and our text editor pops up here, if we select everything, you could triple click, it'll select everything. You could highlight everything, however you want to do. There's the word under here. It says mask. Hit mask, it pops up. You could say use background, and then use drawing color. And then if I hover over something such as the lines, it does no longer go through the lines.
That would depend on how big that box is, right?
Yeah, just shrink it down. So that's where this comes in handy. Something like that. Because then you could have the hatch behind and you don't see through it. Or you do see through it, I should say.
What does it say inside?
5,475 square foot house.
It's a big casa.
Normally, you'll demark the entryway with.
Overloading this, man.
You don't have a project this week, man. Right? Right?
We don't, huh? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stuff to get wrong.
Yeah, World Series week.
Is that one?
So, usually you could mark an entrance with some sort of arrow like this, showing you, hey, this is the entrance, just on the site plan. Usually it's more for presentation purposes, but it also helps just to have it, you know? Can put all kinds of notes on here. Won't even get into that because that's a lot of notes. You may have like the square footage of the overall lot square footage. You could have the setback square footage. Like I said, you could have some of the possibilities of putting, the maximum height of the building, You could put the type of building, you know, whether it's residential, whether it's commercial, institutional. I don't know. There's a bunch of different ones. For our purpose, it'll be a house. Just because they're a lot easier to draw, a lot less rules. So